Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I want to say welcome to drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent black people. So if you're not black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know what city you're coming from. Let me know how you're feeling today. Let me know what's on your mind. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere else. If you could share this video, please share it. We're growing a black-owned network. We're growing black-owned media, and we're reaching millions and millions of people every single week. So go ahead and please share. You're part of our distribution network, and we appreciate you. What's up to everybody on Instagram? My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. So if you haven't followed on Instagram and you like intelligent conversations, we like to be smart around here. We ain't trying to be stupid. If that's how you think, if that's how you roll, then follow us on at The Real Boyce Watkins. That's my Instagram, and put hashtag B1 in the chat. Hashtag B1 means that you're black first. B1 means that you understand that we must be one in order for us to achieve our goals. So put your hashtag B1 in the chat also, and use that hashtag when you're chatting about issues that are uniquely black. And I'm not talking about just Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, stuff that's run by other groups. We're talking about things that come from us and come from our community. We must know the difference. We must have black-owned media. We must have black-owned schools. We must have black-owned businesses. We must have black-owned politics. So take control of your politics. Take control of your families. Take control of all of that. So anyway, let's talk about Kanye West, Mr. Kanye West. I'm not going to be here for too long today, but I wanted to get you guys' take on something. I was reading today, and I put this on my Instagram to get you guys' thoughts on it. Basically, Kanye is now, you guys know he's running for president, right? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you heard that Kanye West is running for president. He's running, and a lot of people are curious, like, what does this mean? He says he's turned on Donald Trump. He's not connected to Trump anymore. But then there are people who make the argument that he's actually aligned with Trump, that by running, Kanye is taking black votes away from Joe Biden, which will increase the chances of Trump winning, which, you may have feelings about that. I know most of y'all don't think that's a good idea, but a lot of y'all do. A lot of y'all, when I do surveys amongst black folks, some of you don't want to be Democrats. Some of you want to be independent. Some of you want to be Republicans. And one thing I want you to understand about the B1 philosophy, the Black First philosophy, means that I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, that I'm not going to be the guy who walks in and says, well, if you vote for Trump, then you ain't black. I'm not the guy that's going to come in and say, that being black means you have to belong to a certain political party. I don't care. I have Trump supporters that watch this channel, and I don't shame you if you're a Trump supporter. I would love to hear your argument and hear you explain why. And if somebody is an Obama or Biden supporter, I want to hear why too. If you can't tell me why, then that bothers me, that concerns me, because that means that you haven't figured out how to think for yourself. A lot of folks pretty much just follow whatever their so-called leaders tell them to do, and they don't form their own opinion. And I don't really care what your ideas are at the end of the day, what your conclusions are at the end of the day. I just want to make sure that they're your conclusions. I just want to make sure that they are your ideas and not somebody else's ideas, because there are people that have a vested interest in planting ideas in the heads of black people. And that's how we've been used. That's how we've been manipulated. That's how we've been controlled. That's how we've been enslaved. So again, I don't judge your opinion. You can vote for Kentucky Fried Chicken if you want to, as long as you can explain why you feel that way and why this works for your, why this works for you and your family. That's your family. That ain't my family. I don't have a right to tell you what to do. So with that said, so Kanye's running for president. I'm going to get, what I will do though, is in the interest of everybody having a right to their own opinion, I'm going to also give my opinion. I'll give perspectives on things, but then I'll also give my perspective. And so when you talk about the whole scenario with Kanye running for president, one of the things that I definitely see is that I truly believe that his goal is to take votes away from Biden. I don't believe Kanye when he says he's no longer down with Trump. I believe that he and Trump are still, still buddies. And so one of the things that's really going on, in my opinion, is you do have something where, maybe Trump, out of his desperation or concern for a rising Biden candidacy, he pretty much said, okay, Kanye, you run for president and you'll take black votes away from Biden. Now, some of you may blame Trump and Kanye for taking black votes away from Biden, but I look at it like when another man steals your woman. I knew a guy who came to me and said, man, I can't stand when that guy come around. He trying to take my woman. And I was like, yeah, well, the reason he can take your woman is because you haven't proven yourself to be the better man. Like, the reason he can get your woman's attention is because you're not a good man. You're not treating her right. Maybe if you spent more time with her, she wouldn't be so easy to take away, right? Because a lot of times we get mad when somebody takes something that we love or something that we feel like we own, right? But you don't realize that if you leave a toy on the floor and you ain't playing with it, another little boy gonna come along and pick up your toy, right? Seriously, like when you're little, remember you were little, you're that little spoiled ass kid who would leave a toy on the floor and not touch it, not play with it. Then the minute you pick it up and start playing with it, they get mad. Well, it's like that in relationships, and it's like that in political relationships. Black people, for the most part, are the toy that the Democratic Party believes belongs to them. That toy is their property. That toy is theirs, and they've owned this toy for a very long time, but they leave the toy. They don't take care of the toy, right? If you love a toy, you're going to keep it clean. You're going to put it on the shelf. You're going to play with it every day. But no, they don't do that. You find the toy on the steps. You find it next to the garbage can. You see it on the ground, all dirty, dusty and everything. And then as soon as somebody comes by and says, this is a nice toy, I can fix this sucker up and shine it up and play with it, the Democratic Party gonna get mad. Like, you can't play with my toy. That belongs to me. Well, guess what? Black people don't belong to anybody. Slavery ended a long time ago. And I hope that Biden and any politician who wants the black vote understands that. And I hope that we can agree on that. I hope that we can at least agree that black people don't belong to anyone. If we can't even agree on that point, then I don't know if we can have a conversation. You should probably go to a YouTube channel that's going to be more consistent with your views, because I personally believe black people have a right to be free. Now, that gets to my first point about Kanye and this whole issue with him possibly being bipolar, having the mental illness kind of thing going on and stuff like that. One thing I like about Kanye is that he is free. He does what he wants. He kind of speaks in a way that isn't consistent with what everybody else is saying. And you got to admire that. At the same time, with great power comes great responsibility. And there is that question, a legitimate question, as to whether or not Kanye is using his power in a responsible way. Now, here's one of the things that that TMZ was reporting about Kanye in terms of what they believe. Their latest media report is they're reporting now that Kanye has been out, speaking and saying he wants to run for president, and all this other stuff. They're now saying that his family is concerned that he is bipolar. They're saying that we're worried about him. He's having a bipolar episode and he's having it in public. And I thought that was interesting. So I thought about it and I tried to process it a little bit. And now, mind you, if Kanye has a mental illness and he's running for president, then he's just joining the club, right? If he's the latest mentally ill person to run for president, he's joining the club because y'all know Joe Biden. Y'all do understand. Give me a yes or no in the chat that you do understand that Joe Biden is losing it right up here, right? You do understand that Joe Biden is not what he used to be mentally. Like he mistook his wife for his daughter. He would say things like, we're going to create 700 million jobs or something. Like, if you go look up Joe Biden gaffes and Joe Biden, misquotes or signs of Joe Biden's senility, even the Democrats are getting concerned about whether or not he has the mental faculties to be president of the United States, right? Just so you know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote for him. I'm just saying that you are going to get a man going into the White House who probably is going a little bit senile. He'll have access to nuclear weapons, which means we might all be fucked. I don't know. But to that point, we know Donald Trump is also off. Donald Trump's been off since he became a public figure 40, 50 years ago. Donald Trump, in my view, I'm not a doctor on this area. Alicia is. Now, Alicia is I am marrying a therapist, so I get to hear all the theories. Every day, literally, she's reciting theories to me that she's analyzing on mental health. I swear to God, I kid you not. We went running last night, and she spent the whole time telling me about theories about relationships and how people think and how people relate. So she's really into it. And one of the things I think you might say about Trump is that he does appear to possibly have some narcissistic personality disorder issues. And now here's the thing. I think Kanye does too, in my opinion. I think Kanye also may have some issues there as well. So I'm going to actually do something that's going to probably make me appear to be bipolar, which is one, I'm going to sound like I'm defending Kanye, and then I'm going to sound like I'm attacking Kanye, when really at the end of the day, my goal is to be balanced with Kanye. My goal is to be honest about Kanye. So let me go ahead and do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button. Hit the subscribe button. Last night, we had the first night of our stock option investing masterclass. If you are in the class, shout yourself out because we had a great time last night. We all learned a lot. If you're still interested, you can still get a space in there. The last night's session is recorded, and the PowerPoint slides and all that stuff. So if you'd like to understand stock options and how to add them to your portfolio, you can go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. Hit the thumbs up button, please, if you haven't done that yet. All right, so here's what TMZ is saying about Kanye. They're saying, let's see, sources tell us that he suffers that he's suffering about with his bipolar disorder. He does it usually once a year. And here are some of the symptoms that are leading them to think that he might be bipolar. They mention that he's running for president, which that doesn't make him crazy because a lot of people run for president. So what else would they say? They said that he slammed Joe Biden. Says he's not supporting Biden. He wants to take black votes away from Biden. I don't, give me a yes or no. Is that a sign of bipolar disorder, or is that just an opinion? I think it's just an opinion. I don't think it's bipolar disorder. He says he's dumped Donald Trump. Give me a yes or no. Does that sound like bipolar disorder? Is that a sign of bipolar disorder, or does that sound like he just has an opinion? He claimed he had COVID-19 in February. So that doesn't sound like a bipolar. I mean, if he really had it, then he really had it, right? So I don't see that as being a sign of mental illness. Maybe there are signs. I'm just saying that I'm reading. I'm like, well, what are the symptoms? What did he do that makes you say that he's lost his mind? Well, maybe he's just that one celebrity who didn't decide to go on social media and tell the world he had COVID-19, and then 2 weeks later say, "Thank God, thank Jesus, I had no symptoms and I was perfectly fine." Right? You ever notice? You notice how all the celebrities are announcing it so they can get attention? Because remember, a lot of celebrities are struggling financially because of the COVID situation. Rappers and rappers and singers that used to go on tour worldwide can't do that now, so they're really struggling for attention. Maybe they're selling a book. They're selling, some digital platform. So they're using COVID in many cases, unfortunately, I believe as a publicity stunt. Because, why would you announce that you have it if you have no symptoms and you're perfectly fine, right? But anyway, that is what it is. He's against vaccines. That's another sign of his so-called mental illness. He's against vaccines. Does that, give me a yes or no in the chat, yes or no? Does that make you mentally ill if you don't trust the vaccination industry? I'll wait. I'll sip my coffee while you give me an answer. Yes or no? Does being against vaccines make you mentally ill? Or does that just make you skeptical? Which one? Yes or no? Are you mentally ill because you're not pro-vaccine? You're not going along with whatever vaccination agenda they present to you? I don't think that makes you mentally ill. There's a history of some really shady medical practices that people are logically skeptical of. I don't blame that on people. I blame that on the medical industry. The Tuskegee experiment, all these things, all the way down Henrietta Lacks. We got a million examples of times where they claim to be curing you, but they're injecting you. They claim to be helping you, but they're using you as a guinea pig. They're claiming to lift you up, but really they're trying to make sure that they exterminate you. So no, that doesn't make you mentally ill. Oh, and here's another symptom of his. He's clearly insane. You got to be bipolar to do this, right? He was talking a lot about God. Right? So give me a yes or no. does talking about God and believing in God make you mentally ill, bipolar? Like, does that mean you need to be put in a straitjacket and sent to the hospital right away? What do you think? No, there's nothing crazy about talking about God. I know plenty of people who talk about God. I don't understand why. Now remember though, when you talk about your buddies in the Democratic Party and the liberals, they're very much anti-God. They establish organizations like the Freedom From Religion, organization, whatever they call that thing, right? The Freedom From Religion Council or something. I forgot what it's called, but they seem to have this big issue with church and religion and God. And what's fascinating to me is that that's not how Black people operate. I think the Black people I know tend to want to go to church. They tend to love God. They tend to believe in their faith, but also we're balanced. I think that, you have people that will go to church and believe in God, but then sometimes they'll deviate and say, that thing in the Bible about whatever, it might be homosexuality. Some will say, I stick with what the Bible says. Some people say, you know what, I'm going to pass that part of the Bible up, right? And I don't think either side is wrong. I think that that's the interesting struggle that the Black community has in a two-party system. With the struggle you have in the two-party system is that many of you are inherently conservative people, but you identify with certain liberal causes, particularly because the liberals were the ones who helped you get civil rights bills passed and things like that. So Kanye, there's nothing here that I see that shows him crazy. The only thing that's a little bit weird, and even this can be partially justified, is that he wants to call his new party the birthday party, right? Now, I think the birthday party sounds weird. That came off a little strange to me. But, then maybe I'm like, Kanye is a creative genius, right? And maybe in his creative genius, he said, I'm going to call it the birthday party because that reminds me of birth of a nation, right? We're giving birth to something new, right? So it's our birthday as a community where we're actually going to be free. So perhaps, birthday party still sounds a little corny to me. I would pick a different name, but I'd be curious to know what his logic is in terms of why he called his party the birthday party. And I also would be curious to see if he's really going to do this, if he's really moving forward, or if he is just talking. Because if you notice, a lot of folks get a lot of attention in the community by just talking. I hung out with, I was in Atlanta with a guy that I just love and respect a lot by the name of Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison started the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Jay is a good friend of mine. I respect Jay immensely. I went down to a building that he bought with the Tulsa Fund that the community can use, called the Black House or the Legacy Center. And we did a tour of the Legacy Center. I met Queen Afua, who's a wonderful healer, a beautiful, intelligent Black woman. And we were walking through the woods, Jay and I, and we were talking about how many people in the community do all of this, do a whole lot of yapping, but don't follow up. We talk about how many conversations he and I have. We have that same problem, that we have a lot of conversations with people that say, yeah, I'm down. Oh, that sounds good. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build that. I'm going to go buy this. we're going to start 10 schools. We're going to do this. And then they never follow up. They never follow up. Won't pull a nickel out of their pocket. Won't lift a finger to do any work. Won't follow up with any meetings that you talk about having. And one of the things, if you want to know, just for the sake of full disclosure, why we're friends, is because I watched him, he watched me. I said, wow, I remember you talked to me about the Tulsa Fund when you called me in Guyana in 2017, and I'll be damned if you didn't go file the paperwork and get it done. Oh, I remember you talked about starting a Black political party, the Black Rights Party, and I'll be damned, you filed the paperwork, you got it done. I like that. I like that because I don't like it when you waste my time. Don't come talking to me about big plans and big shit popping and you ain't got the little shit stopping. Like, don't tell me about all the big things you talking about doing and then not do anything. That annoys me. Dr. Claude Anderson goes through that. He has people, celebrities, that will call him and say, oh my God, I love the Powernomics agenda. I think it's great. And then they won't do anything. They won't write a check. They won't follow up. They won't do anything. And so I just really believe that as a community, if you're talking about making progress, we must have some sort of code on action versus words. Action means more than words. Don't tell me, and I do this all the time, in case you're wondering, if you ever meet me at an event and you start telling me about how you got this master plan that's going to change the whole Black community, my next thought is, I wonder how much they've done to actually get this done. Show me some buildings you built. Show me some money you've raised. Show me 8 years that you put in this game and invested in as far as time and blood, sweat, and tears to make this happen. If you can't show me nothing but a vision, then honestly, that is unfortunately, no disrespect. I don't want anybody to feel bad because we all do this. We all talk big shit and then don't follow through. And that's fine. We all do that initially, but that's a type of immaturity. That is an intellectual immaturity where you don't understand that at the end of the day, all that matters are your actions. You know, all that matters is what you do. What you say really is like this much. That's like the difference between a man who has sex for, you know, a few minutes and makes a baby and thinks he's really a dad. Well, he don't know what a dad is. If you think that making a baby makes you a father, then you ain't never been a father. No, making a baby, anybody can, you know, get locked and loaded and go and make a baby, right? Anybody can do that. Any man with working body parts can get that part done. No, but that does not make you a father. What makes you a father are the thousands and thousands of hours of consistent, continuous, dedicated, deliberate, focused effort necessary to raise that child from the age of 0 to the age of 18. That's what makes you a father. That's what makes you a father. So a lot of us, you know, when you talk about ideas, and I'm talking about Kanye right now. This is me talking about Kanye. Maybe it's seen as a criticism, but it's not a criticism. It's just me giving objective analysis here. When I look at Kanye, when I listen to Diddy sometimes, Diddy does this. Pay attention. Because they understand the community. They know our community is to some extent a little bit intellectually immature, politically immature, you know, economically immature. So they know that we like the things that are flashy and bright and bold, and they love big, and we love big announcements. Oh, Diddy said he gonna buy the New York Yankees. You know, Kanye said he gonna be president of the United States. You know, Jay-Z said he gonna buy all of Connecticut and turn it into a great big mall, right? Like, we love big announcements, right? And then what happens is nobody takes that time to do the actual follow-up. So I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't, that people shouldn't try to do big things, but I think that there should be an accountability. When your mouth writes a big check, then you need to be able to cash that check. So with Kanye, one of the things that I found really interesting is I did read that despite the fact that Kanye made this big announcement about running for president and got all this attention and all this publicity, last I checked, he has not lifted a single finger to do anything to actually, you know, file the necessary paperwork to run for president of the United States. That he has not yet done anything required to really show that he's serious about any of this shit. You know, really what I'm seeing is a guy who has a new album coming out and he's trying to get publicity for his album. Well, I mean, that's the oldest game in the book. A lot of people run for president, not because they want to win. They run for president because that's a great way to get a lot of publicity for the other things that you're doing. That I believe that's why Al Sharpton ran for president. Al Sharpton didn't really think he was going to be president. Al Sharpton ran for president just long enough to elevate his profile. I believe Donald Trump did the same thing. Donald Trump, unfortunately, though, he didn't. I don't think he expected to win. Donald Trump just lucked out and said, "Oh my God, wait, y'all are dumb enough to actually nominate me to, you know, as a Republican candidate, and now y'all crazy enough to put me in the White House." I bet if you asked Trump, you know, right before he ran, do you really think, would you bet money that you'll be the next president of the United States? I bet you he would not have taken that bet. I bet you that Trump would not have taken that bet. So anyway, I'm gonna move forward. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. I see a guy in here that's making some stupid comments, so I'm gonna go ahead and get him out of here so everybody can enjoy the discussion. Again, this is the platform for intelligent Black people. If you ain't intelligent, then you need to take your raggedy ass on. Also, if you haven't learned to buy your first share of stock and you want to invest in the stock market, or you want to get just a bunch of free stuff from the Black Business School that you can share with your family as far as, you know, knowledge and information on investing, I believe Black investing is really important. That's critical for us getting our own real reparations, not reparations, real reparations, in terms of building our wealth for the next generation. Go to firstshareofstock.com. That's firstshareofstock.com. Firstshareofstock.com. All right. So anyway, I don't. Oh wow, this is amazing. This guy literally has several different profiles, And it's quite fascinating to see that he keeps on coming back into the conversation. And I didn't know people could actually do this. Trolling is a profession. Like this man, he probably need to go get a woman or something, because he keeps coming back in. It's really amazing because he has different profiles, and I find that just amazing that somebody can actually do that. All right, so anyway, so let me go into a couple of other things here. In terms of why I believe Kanye is, why they're saying like, okay, we think he's lost his mind. We really worry about him. We think he's a little bit crazy. And again, well, what makes him crazy? Well, that he's not a Democrat, right? Okay, that makes you must be out of your mind if you're black and you're not a Democrat. And Lord Jesus, right? That he revealed that that his party's called the birthday party. That's a little bit weird. That might make him a weirdo. Who knows? That might make him a weirdo. That he said he had COVID-19. That doesn't make him weird. A lot of people have COVID. In fact, I believe millions of people have COVID. I believe that once this is done, mark my word, in about 2 years, you're going to see people issue reports that say that, maybe 5, 10 million, 20 million people had COVID and didn't know. Right. So that's one thing I think is going to happen with that. I think a lot of people have COVID and just don't know they have it. A lot of you in here probably have had it and don't even know that you had it. Let's see, what else makes him crazy? That he doesn't believe in vaccines. Oh, yeah, that makes you a lunatic. Right. And also that he talked about God. My God, what's wrong with you? You actually believe in God. You must be crazy. Right. So here's one other thing about Kanye that's interesting. It made me think about when people started diagnosing him as being bipolar, because he's sort of speaking these things, politically, that he's sort of saying in public. It made me think about one time where there was a guy who was a member of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And this leader of the SCLC went into the media and he said, Black people need to buy weapons to defend ourselves. That he said something basically like that. He was getting tired of the police shootings, and he said, Black people, need to defend ourselves with weapons. And do you know what they did? They said, whoa, he's so far off narrative. They said, we have removed him from his position and sent him to re-education training or something like that. They basically, they said, they're going to, so because you are a Black person who has gone off the narrative or gone off the script, the first step toward trying to alienate you is to somehow stigmatize you and say, oh my God, he must have lost his mind. He must be a lunatic. He must be going crazy. So we're going to send him to re-education camp. We're going to give him medication. He needs to be put in a hospital, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, what people have to understand is that there are people that have such a vested narrative in controlling what you think and controlling how you view the world, that when you go off the script, they immediately want to stigmatize you in whatever method they possibly can, because the last thing they want is for an influential Black person to go out speaking something that is not consistent with what they're hearing. I cheer that on. And the reason I cheer it on is because I don't think that it's dangerous for people to have the free expression and free exchange of ideas. I don't think that there's anything dangerous about somebody saying, guys, we've tried it this way. How about we try it that way? Because clearly the old way is not working, right? I don't find anything wrong with us laying all the ideas on the table and believing that people are intelligent enough to pick the idea that works best for themselves and their family. When people start saying things to me like, well, Doc, what you're saying is really dangerous. And I'm like, what is it that I'm saying that's dangerous? Well, you're telling Black people to become Republicans. I'm like, no, I would never tell Black people to become Republicans. I'm B1. I don't tell people what political party to join. Well, you're telling Black people not to vote. No, I never told Black people not to vote. I tell Black people to do what's best for your family. You're leading Black people in a different direction. No, I'm not. I'm telling Black people to think for themselves. Why do you got a problem with that? What's wrong with Black people thinking for themselves? Wait, isn't that called, I forgot what do they call it? Oh, they call it freedom. Freedom. So that's what you have a problem with. You're not used to Black people being free, maybe because you don't even know what freedom actually looks like, right? Freedom is not when Black people are led like sheep off, to get slaughtered off the same cliff that we jump off of every single month, right? That's not freedom. Freedom is not where everybody has to do the same thing or you're going to be ostracized or attacked for being different. Right? That's not freedom. Freedom is not peer pressure where you're forced and pushed by other people to constantly vote for the same candidates, even though you don't understand why you're doing that anymore, right? Freedom is not this. Freedom is not when urban radio stations literally will go out of their way to ensure that Black people in those communities don't hear from candidates other than candidates from a specific political party. That's not called freedom, y'all. I'm sorry, that's not freedom. That is called oppression. That is not freedom. That is called slavery. That is not freedom. That is actually voter suppression. Voter suppression is not just when they keep you out of the polls. Voter suppression is when they keep you in the polls, but keep you voting in a specific way, right? So either way, so I can suppress you by keeping you out of the room, or I can suppress you by bringing you into the room and forcing you to do what I want you to do. So we have to really understand in a broader context what freedom really looks like and what suppression and oppression look like. The other point I will make here is this. This is not in defense of Kanye. So I have some points in defense of Kanye. I like the freedom. I like the honesty. I like him doing him and being him and being iconic. I mean, the man's iconic. He's going to be remembered for the next 100 years. God bless him for that. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Do I think that he uses that power responsibly in every case? No, I do not. I listened to Kanye talk about being a billionaire, Forbes recently declared him a billionaire, which made him super excited because now he gets to brag and everything else like all the other rappers about how much money he's got. I didn't give a shit about none of that. I wasn't impressed at all with that interview. It doesn't impress me at all that you think you're the greatest and you got the biggest house in Uganda and you got the most money. You got more money than Jesus. Who cares? What I really would prefer to see, and I don't even know if Kanye's capable of this, is I need to see you showing me how this massive wealth is actually benefiting anybody other than the ego of Kanye West. Because, one of the things at the end of the day that I'm seeing from him is this really massive supersized ego, signs of a narcissism that probably explains why he gets along so well with Donald Trump, right? Oh, you think you're the center of the universe? Well, I'm the center of my universe. So we can just be two centers of the universe having this awkward conversation where both of us are doing all the damn talking. I don't like listening to Trump talk because Trump thinks too much of himself. I don't like listening to Kanye talk because Kanye thinks too much of himself. If you're a billionaire, Kanye, seriously, you're a billionaire, you're from Chicago, that's my city too. Well, then I need to be able to go to a section of Chicago. I need you, Kanye, this is Kanye, if you're listening, please write this down. I need to be able to go to a section of Chicago where you and your billionaire family, the Kardashians, have created at least 1,000 jobs for people in that section of Chicago. That where there are 1,000 jobs or 500 jobs coming from your company that are helping these people in those communities eat, helping them own homes, helping them own businesses. I really want to see that, and I'm not saying that he isn't doing some of this, but that's not what I'm hearing him brag about. When I hear him brag, he's bragging about his album, he's bragging about how great he is, bragging about how much money he's got, he's bragging about how big his house is. I don't care about any of that, and I think that's, so on one hand, I congratulate him for not fitting a stereotype. I congratulate him for being free and doing what he wants to do. But on the other hand, you are a stereotype when all you do is sit there like all these other rappers for the last 30 years and brag about how much money you have while people around you are sitting around there starving. Like, what are they supposed to do? Sit there and just worship Jesus and in the middle of their misery, just worship Jesus and be happy for you, but be unhappy for themselves. I don't think that's the model for hip hop that we need for the 21st century. I think the hip hop model says this, in my opinion. I think what a better model would be is this. Look, if you want to be rich, go get rich. You want to be powerful, be powerful. You want to be great, be great. But greatness means that you are bringing people along with you. Greatness means that I can point to a few thousand people whose lives are markedly and meaningfully better because of your existence. Greatness does not mean that you can point to 10 million people who are inspired by your music. Who cares? Black people are overdosed on inspiration and hope and things that make us feel good. What I think is that you should show me scenarios where you're helping people pay the bills. You're helping fathers become better fathers. You're helping mothers become better mothers. You're helping communities become safer. There are neighborhoods that Kanye is very popular in right now where little kids are being shot. I'm not saying Kanye has to solve all of that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, though, that I would like to hear you brag a little bit more about that than bragging about how big your house is in Wyoming. I give zero shits about the size of your house in Wyoming. So here's one thing I want to ask you guys about this. I'm going to read some of the symptoms, and this is for Trump and Kanye. And I'm curious, because I do believe that Kanye might have a couple of issues mentally. I do believe that, but maybe that's the core of his genius. So I'm not here to hate on it. I'm just here to observe. So according to the Mayo Clinic, the Mayo Clinic has a list of symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder. So I'm going to read these symptoms, and I want you guys to give me a yes or no in the chat if you think Kanye fits any of these symptoms. Symptom number 1, an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you think Kanye fits the description when it comes to an exaggerated sense of self-importance? Symptom number 2. Okay, I want to see your responses come in. I'll give you guys a second to respond. Number 2, a sense of entitlement and that requires constant excessive admiration. Do you think that, give me a yes or no, do you think that Kanye has a sense of entitlement that requires constant excessive admiration? Number 3, give me a yes or no if Kanye fits the description. Expects to be recognized as superior even without achievements that warrant it. Expects to be recognized as superior even without achievements that warrant it. Yes or no? Now, Kanye is a brilliant musician. We know this. He's an amazing artist. But we also remember when he ran up on stage and got mad because, well, I guess he was doing it on behalf of Beyonce. But I think before he was screaming because he should have got Album of the Year or something. What else? Exaggerated achievements and talents. When you exaggerate your achievements and talents, right? Like, I'm the greatest ever, I can do anything. And Trump fits the description for a lot of these things too. It's really interesting. Yes or no? Preoccupied about fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. In fact, you guys might want to pay attention. You might have some, you might be in a relationship with a narcissist. So, and I'm just going to tell you, this me, Uncle Boyce advice. I hope it's okay if I go into Uncle Boyce mode. I just want to tell you, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, get out of that damn relationship. There's nothing worse than dating a narcissist. I've done it. It ain't fun. Narcissists don't apologize for shit because everything that goes wrong is your fault. Even if they do some dumb shit, it's always your fault, right? A narcissist can't really empathize with anything that you're saying. And I really believe that you can't really teach the ability to empathize and the ability to sort of see outside of yourself. I believe that children, this is again my armchair theory. Alicia's gonna beat me up for this if she finds out that I'm doing armchair analysis because she thinks she should have a license to do this, but I'm gonna lay it out here anyway. I believe that when we're children, we're especially children who are only children. I believe we're born as narcissists. Like, we're born to believe that the world revolves around us. We're born to believe that we are the center of everything, especially if you talk about one child who has maybe one parent who puts all their time and energy into that person. Like, your feet cold, you need some oatmeal. What time do you get home from school? What are you going to watch on TV, right? It's easy to get caught up in that. And what happens is, I think that the world is supposed to smack you out of that, right? When I got to a certain age, I learned that, no, you can't have everything on your own, Boyce. You have to share. When I got to a certain age, I learned that, look, your feelings are important, but other people's feelings matter too, right? When I got to a certain age, I learned that you, Negro, you are not the center of the universe. There's other people that got to eat besides you, right? Some people never learn that. I swear to God, some people never learn that there are people outside of themselves, that other people's feelings actually matter too, that maybe you shouldn't do all the talking in the conversation. If you watch Kanye when he was talking to President Trump, I was like, is this Negro ever going to stop talking? Like, he just kept on going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And I've worked with other people like that. And so again, I just want to give you Uncle Boyce warning. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, or you have a friend that's a narcissist, I encourage you to exit that relationship as peacefully as you possibly can. And just know it, but no matter how you try to explain it, they're going to blame it on you, because that's just what narcissists do, because they can't, it's never their fault. What else? They believe they're superior. So give me a yes or no if you think Kanye fits that. These are symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder, according to the Mayo Clinic. They believe they are superior and can only associate with equally special people. They monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior. They expect special favors and unquestioning compliance with their expectations, take advantage of others to get what they want. So you may not just want to think about Kanye, think about your own life. Like Kanye doesn't matter right now anymore. He's a side note. Think about your own life. And I want you to just think about anybody in your life that you know that fits the description here. And you may just realize it's not their fault that they're such an asshole. It's because they have a narcissistic personality disorder. Let's see here. They expect, take advantage of others to get what they want. Oh, that's interesting. Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. So maybe a good test might be to tell that person how you feel and see how they respond, see if they recognize that need, if they can empathize with it, or if they say, oh, it's your fault, or, oh, I didn't hear you, or they're not paying attention, or they don't want to listen. Envious of others and believe others envy them. Behave in an arrogant or haughty manner, coming across as conceited, boastful, and pretentious. Let's see, insist on having the best of everything. For example, the best car or office. Now, here's some other things that people with narcissistic personality disorders might end up doing. Become impatient or angry when they don't receive special treatment. Have like running up on stage and stealing the Grammy out of Taylor Swift's hands. Right? I don't know. That's just one example that comes to mind. Have significant interpersonal problems and easily feel slighted. Which, remember, Kanye, when he interviewed with Forbes, he was mad because Forbes never acknowledged him as a billionaire. And he was tweeting about Forbes not acknowledging him as a billionaire. So that's interesting. That's we're doing some armchair analysis here. React with rage or contempt and try to belittle the other person to make themselves feel superior. This might happen in your relationship if you're dealing with a narcissist. Have difficulty regulating emotions and behavior. That is Kanye to a T. Poor guy. He's just all over the place, right? Experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change, feeling depressed and moody because they fall short of perfection, have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, vulnerability, and humiliation. Ooh. So there you go. So if you have a narcissist in your life, deal with that, diagnose it, and you may have to move on because I'm gonna just tell you, like Chuck D. I love Chuck D. And we follow each other on Twitter. And I met him a couple of times. I just like the guy a lot. And I remember one time he said, if you can't change the people around you, then you have to change the people around you. So if you're dealing with a narcissist in your life, it's not fun. Don't be a narcissist, first of all. And then on top of that, you may want to find people around you who can actually relate to other people and empathize with other people. That just makes life more fun. So anyway, all right, I'm out of here, guys. Just to make this clear, this is not a diss on Kanye. This is just more of an analysis. I don't think Kanye running for president makes him crazy. I think that his independent ideas are actually fresh energy into an important debate. I'm not afraid of another Donald Trump presidency one way or the other. I'm not going to vote for anybody, just in case you want to know what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to vote for anybody. I'm not telling you to vote or not to vote. Don't do what I do. Do what you do. Don't do me, do you. And so, but I'm just telling you, I'm going to do me, and doing me means that if you ain't talking about reparations, you won't get my vote. If you're not a candidate that's really earning my vote, you're not going to get my vote. One way you will never get my vote is you will never get my vote by scaring me, because I don't scare easily. I'm black. I done been through it all. You can't scare me with nothing. Another Trump presidency does not scare me because I survived the first one just fine. Maybe he hurt your feelings. Maybe he upset you because you realize, oh my God, white people don't love you. I don't know, but none of that bothers me one bit, because I never expected white people to love me. I expected me to love me. I never expected other communities to love black people. I expect black people to love black people. I don't really care if white people embrace white supremacy. I only care about the fact that black people embrace white supremacy, because the minute black people let go of white supremacy, the minute you stop allowing other people to do things that oppress you, the minute you stop allowing them to embrace systems that cause you to be inferior, then you won't be inferior anymore. There are plenty of black people who are actually quite free, and part of that freedom actually may have started with freeing themselves from the oppressive constraints and voter suppression that comes from having to constantly vote for politicians who don't give a damn about you. So I'm not telling you what path to take. If you're going to vote for Biden, like, please do that. Don't let me talk you out of that. I hope we can disagree and still love each other. I hope we can disagree and still be friends. But at the same time, just allow for something basic that black people have always fought for, which is freedom. You know, these white folks ain't going to give you your damn freedom. You got to take your freedom. And taking freedom means, at the end of the day, people aren't going to like you anymore. Nobody, if you're the school whore, if you're the school slut who's giving it up to anybody who asks, and and every day at school, guys know they can take you in the bathroom and do whatever they want with you. Well, the day that you start standing up for yourself and saying, I'm not going to allow you to do this to me anymore, you're going to lose some friends. Right? I'm sure the school slut is the most popular girl in school, the one who gets the most attention from the boys. But you got to understand, Black people, that attention ain't always a good thing. That people claiming to like you and wanting to be around you and wanting to have you involved in whatever little scheme they have, that's not the same as them actually respecting you. Sometimes somebody who doesn't like you can respect you more than somebody who does. So stand up for yourself. Stop being the economic sluts of the school, the economic slut where you're giving it up easy and demanding nothing in return. Stop being the political sluts of the school. Stop giving up your vote and asking for nothing in return. Right? Because when you do that, when you're seeking love in all the wrong places, you're seeking attention, you're out in the street screaming, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Who are you talking to? Who are you telling Black Lives Matter? Are you saying you're trying to convince white people of this? Why? Who cares what they think? What matters is, do you think your life matters? I know my life matters, so I ain't got to go repeat Black Lives Matter to anybody other than myself and to my family. So at the end of the day, I think we have it all wrong. I think that we have to evolve. I think we have to mature. We have to become a little more thorough and analytical about how we move forward as a people and as individuals and as family members, and do what's best for your family. Lead your family. And I can say one thing, last point I'll make on this, and then I'm gonna bounce. America is not a perfect country, right? We know this. America has many imperfections that you can point out, and the list would be too long to recite in this conversation. But America is not a country that is without opportunity. There are opportunities for you right now to go and do the things necessary for you and your family to be good. You have excellent opportunities to educate yourself. Nobody's going to stop you from that. No white man is ever going to get in the way between you and a book. A white man is never going to snatch a book out your hand and say, Negro, we beats Negroes around here for reading. No, but a lot of folks don't want to read. A white man will never tell you that you cannot go start your family business. Your fear will stop you before the white man stops you. But if you are a courageous Black person who moves forward no matter what, then no one's going to say, well, business is a whites only profession. Only white people are allowed to do that, right? So at the end of the day, the biggest enemy for many of us can be the demon inside. The demon of fear, the demon of oppression, internalizing oppression, believing that you're truly inferior. And so maybe the reason you've got to scream that Black Lives Matter is because perhaps deep down, you're not convinced that that's actually true. So that's my 2 cents for you guys. I hope that this helps you. I hope this helps you have start off to a great day. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to drboycetv.com. That's drboycetv.com. And also, if you want to learn how to invest and stuff like that, there's a free training on how to buy your first share of stock. And also, you can get lots of free stuff from us. So even if you've already bought stock, you should still sign up. It's firstshareofstock.com. That's 4 words, not firstshare.com. It's firstshareofstock.com. So type in those 4 words, firstshareofstock.com, sign up. You'll get free stuff from me on a regular basis, and it'll help you grow. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. All right, guys, take care, and thank you, Quanto. Quanto says options class was love. Yeah, if you want to join, we're doing a live masterclass on stock option investing. Feel free to join us. You can go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. We met last night. It was really great. We're going to meet every Wednesday night for 6 weeks. So all the meetings are recorded. So even if you miss a class, you can still watch the recording. So take care, guys. Have a good day, and I am out of here. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.